Zenon Franco has been the author of many beautiful games, and this Counterattack is one of them. It is a book that tells you how to turn the defense into a victory. It is made on, I think, 7 chapters. Let me see if I found it. Yeah. 7 chapters that have at the end of each chapter some exercises, and that's why I like it, because you see the examples but you also see the exercises, right? So that's the important part. The chapters obviously tell you, the 4th chapter is about Lasker, the master of defense and counterattack. But the chapter I want to show you some games today is chapter 5, prophylactic thinking. Why prophylactic thinking? Because I notice that most of grandmasters or title players have this kind of habit. Before launching an all-out attack, they avoid that the opponent can do anything back to them, right? So that's kind of very important. And here, of course, in the introduction to the chapter, Zenon show you the words of Mark Dworeski, one of the greatest trainer, and then the questions you should ask yourself, like asking oneself, what is his threat? What is my opponent planning? And again, and then of course he show you the games, and you will learn more and more thanks to that. Now the game that I want to show you is supplementary game 19.1. Isaac Lipnitsky is white against Vasily Smyslov black. This game comes from the USSR championship played in Moscow 1951. Lipnitsky plays d4 and Smyslov played knight f6. c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. At this point we know that this is an Inso-Indian defense. Queen c2, knight c6, knight f3, d5, a3, bishop takes c3, and b takes c3. With this move, the game quickly leaves known paths. Knight f5. This is given an exclamation point, which means it's a good move. And the author writes, Smyslov attached great importance to this move, trying to gain a grip on the light squares. Of course, this is Grandmaster level chess, so they really know what is the weaknesses of some square and how to take advantage of them or exploit it. How did white continue? White continued with knight e5, which is a dubious move. Why it's a dubious move? Because obviously it can be immediately refuted by knight d7. Knight takes d7. Bishop takes d7, c takes d5, e takes d5. And now there is a mistake by white. So white played bishop f4. Instead, the right move would have been e3 probably. So bishop f4 not so good, but at this point you need to ask yourself what should black now play, right? And why bishop f4 a mistake and this was better? Because, and this I helped you in the beginning, I told you knight a5 was played to get control of the light squares, which means bishop f4 gives black the chance to control the light squares, right? How does he do that? And here I'm not reading from the book, but it was logical, no? So, because you see, if you are just a average club player, at this point what you think is, oh, let's bring the king away because it's in the center, it's in danger. No, it's not in danger. Nothing is attacking your king. So it's much more important what you do to prevent, this is the idea of chapter 5, prophylactic thinking, your opponent from doing something. Okay? So the right move was bishop b5. Imagine how beautiful is this move, because now you do this and you're not going anywhere. So that's kind of the thing. And so castle, if you had played castle in this moment, that would have been a mistake. That would have been a mistake. Okay? So obviously at this point sometimes when you have made some mistakes, you don't want to swallow the bitter pill of admitting them, but probably the best move was still this, because also after the exchange you admit that you have made a mistake and you try to solve it. Instead, guess what, white played h4, and h4 doesn't make any sense. Why? Because you're not really attacking there, that you don't even have the pieces to overcome the defenses. In fact, now at this point black castle, because he knows that there are no pieces really attacking there, right? Rook b1 attacking the bishop b5, queen d7 defending and connecting the rooks. Rook h3, this rook lift, it's obvious because he wants to attack there, right? So, for example, I'm sure some of you will have said, ha ha ha, but wait a minute, I could play bishop takes f7, right? No, it's a mistake, because after there is bishop f4, attacking the queen and taking back the bishop. So, that's why Lipnitsky, that has also a beautiful chess set that I don't have, played rook h3. After which black played rook f8, because the king is in the center. Rook g3, obviously the threat, usual threat that we have seen over and over. Knight c4. I mean, Lipnitsky is playing like a robot, and unfortunately playing like a robot sometimes is not a good idea. g6, queen c1, and now there is a beautiful move by black, which is knight d6. Why knight d6 is a beautiful move? Because now the attack has been repelled, and as soon as black brings more pieces into place, his counter-attack will be decisive. Notice that from here goes here, then, I mean, he's attacking everything. Okay? Okay, queen f4, and now he could have played this right away, but he obviously preferred to play bishop a6. Why this? Because if he would take here, black would have played rook e4. So be careful about that. In any case, he played bishop a6. Eventually, if you get the book, you will see all the analysis made by Grandmaster Zenon regarding it. Okay. After bishop a6, e3, and now again you don't need to change now, because what you want to do, you want to attack, right? So obviously you play this. Bishop takes a6, b takes a6, and now there is another mistake by white, which is rook b7, rook a b8. White, it's all getting the pawn, but maybe is not a good idea. Rook b1, king e2, and of course now the final move is queen a4, and the game is practically over for our friend here. Notice that this is still attack, but you don't care, you care to play to give a kind of checkmate. Okay, so I hope you love this game from the book Counterattack. it was the chapter on prophylaxis, and now I want to show you another game, also beautiful, played by another great player. This was played by Smith, the next one will be played by Fischer. Thank you very much for watching.